Hey, good evening, everybody, Stoop crew, and everybody in the comments, and those everywhere in between. I'm Spawny Mark coming in at you for happy hour. We do this every Friday, 7 to 9. But not only is it happy hour, and also those that are preparing their hangovers for tomorrow when they're having to watch the coronation of King Charles. We here in America will take any holiday from any country, and celebrate it by drinking. So it being Cinco de Mayo, having something to do with Mexico and lots of margaritas, I have got myself a tiny Patron to toast, and I've even got a somewhat frosted glasses with a very fancy lime wheel. John, where are you? Let's toast Cinco de Mayo.
I got my Modelo's.
Hey, attaboy. So cheers to you, Big John.
Cheers, happy Cinco de Mayo.
And here's to a very good season for the Rangers, although it didn't quite turn out the way you wanted it to.
Yeah, thanks.
You know,
Mark.
I think for me, if it was anybody other than the Devils, it would have been a little more acceptable. But when I saw that it was like and it did go the full 5. Lots of goals scored.
It went the full 7.
Oh, was it? Is it 7 in the first round?
Yeah, every round is 7, best out of 7. But we'll get them next year. That's okay.
That's the spirit. Yeah. That's the spirit. Yeah, in the comments today, we've got Bremer's Ghost. He's saying hello, as is Anders and Ben, Arizona, out there somewhere near Tempe, I want to say. Who else do we got? We've got Crow Friend. I've never seen you on here before, so welcome. Graham Wood Robinson, welcome to you as well. Scooby D2 as always. Danny LUFC Rumsey says, "What's up, Scooby?" But we say, "What's up to you?" We've got an interesting show today. We are approaching the last 4 matches of Premier League football, and there's a lot of races that have yet to be decided, which for me is a bit unusual. These are things that I have not seen in the last few years. Normally, the relegation battle has been decided, 10 weeks before the season's over. As of late, between City and Liverpool running away with it, haven't quite seen a top 4 race or a winner of the league race this close. We'll be talking Leeds and their latest shakeup. I think that's like second or third of this year. We'll probably check in with Dirty Jersey Chris about Liverpool and whether or not they have a chance to sneak into the top 4. We'll be visited by Italy Jet. He will be talking West Ham and whether or not his team will be able to stave off relegation. But first, I was at my neighborhood pub watching Man City take care of West Ham. And, kind of watching that match, and as we get to like the last quarter when Haaland scores, I just think to myself, that was just inevitable. He was going to score one way or at some point. It was just inevitable. It could have happened at the very last second, but he was going to get his goal. And I was talking with Lolo about this. And, he was telling me that there's a reason for the fact that Haaland has broken the single season scoring record. Did it in 34 games, which is, I believe, 10 less or 11 less than the 2 guys that were tied for it. I don't remember who. But, Lolo was like, there's a reason why he's so good. And I'm like, well, it's because he's so big. And he's like, no. And I was like, well, it's because he's so fast and has great footwork. And Lolo's like, no, that's not it. I can't believe you don't know this. It turns out that it's because Haaland likes to fart when he's out on the field. Anybody gets close enough to him, and he just kind of gives them the old left cheek squeak. And there's a video. We can't show it, because we don't want to get in trouble. But there was a video with him, and I think it's I'm gonna butcher the name, but I believe it's Leon Gretz Gretzky. I have no idea. I can't remember it.
Wayne
it's
Gretzky?
It's not Wayne Gretzky, but it's Leon. Somebody help me out in the comments, man, just so I can read it. But he was saying that every time I tried to mark Holland, he would fart. And in the video, it shows that they're like, they're jockeying for position. And then like there's this kind of pensive look on Holland's face. And the fellow for Bayern, he looks like he just kind of greens over and he's about ready to, he plugs his nose. But to top it off, Holland kind of rubs his belly and he makes the face. He goes, like maybe he had like too much cabbage and pickled herring before the match. I have no idea, but wouldn't that be funny? Goretzka, thank you, Danny. I appreciate the assist on that one. I probably even still butchered that, but. Wouldn't that be something if that was the secret to the really good like footballers? Like James Ward-Prowse, every time he took a free kick, he just kind of like just before he fired it off, he just kind of let one rip, and that's why he's so successful. I don't know. These are the weird thoughts when weird news items come my way. But speaking of weird. We got our first guest. We've got all the way from West Ham Way. We got Italy Jet. Let's bring him on. What's up, brother?
What's up? Weird,
How
huh?
you doing?
Weird, huh?
Yeah, why not? We're all a bunch of weirdos. That's what brought us all together.
Hey, we're matching a little bit.
We are matching. I didn't take you for a Wolverhampton fan.
I didn't. This is Nashville Predators, the hockey team, so I understand that.
Okay,
how are you?
Okay.
How are you? It's been a while. It's been a while.
It feels like it's been a while.
Hey,
how'd they do in the playoffs?
How the Rangers do in the playoffs?
Well, at least they made the playoffs.
Yeah, but you guys' defense sucks. So
remember,
you can have the shittiest defense as long as you can score goals, and
right.
it looked like the Rangers were able to score a bit.
First two games they were unstoppable, but
it's okay. I mean, I like the direction we're going. Barry Trotz is back in the building, and I'm excited. So
gotcha.
All right,
Mark, I'm going to be honest. I'm outraged. I'm pissed.
You're outraged.
I'm annoyed.
Okay.
Everything that's happened to West Ham these last 3 games. I know it's been a while since we talked.
Yeah.
But especially Crystal Palace. I am so pissed at that game. It looked like a friendly. I'll be honest. It looked like a friendly. It didn't look like we took ourselves serious in that game. And Moyes continues to sub guys at the end of the game between the 78th minute and the 90th minute. And it's annoying. Yeah. It's annoying. Now, this past game against Man City, it looked like we were doing pretty good for a while. Then the second half, they just exploded. And I get it. But injuries.
It was the ever inedible, as far as like, what was going to happen.
Right.
I thought you guys did okay for the half, and it was a typical. Agreed. It was a typical Man City kind of, we'll start at the top of the hill, and by the time we get 2/3 down, we're going to be going so fast.
Yeah.
It was surprising to see that there were some absentees there, and
there were. We had
my question.
We had an illness.
There's
an unexpected illness. Yes.
Little tummy flu going around.
Yes.
Do you see this kind of maybe hampering you this weekend?
They're back though. So
are they?
They're going to be back for this game. So
okay,
we'll see what happens. Maybe we could get a full team. It was Suchek, Rice, and the Moroccan.
Actually,
he had. Who?
Suchek. Oh no, I'm thinking of Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls, the one with the actual injury.
Yes, but Suchek is the one that had the bug.
Yeah.
Him, Rice, and the Moroccan. Yeah, it was
Aguerd.
Yeah, Aguerd. I can't pronounce. I'm not good with these names sometimes.
See,
so.
I'm even worse.
Yeah. So,
but I also, Kurt Zuma not being in there, I think hurts a little bit, maybe even more than anybody else.
I agree. I think Moyes is just trying some things new, but he can't be trying things new right now. I just think that Antonio, you got to keep him there because Ings is not really doing much. Or I have a theory. It's a pretty out there theory. Why don't we bring some of the teenagers up? Because they just won the FA Cup against Arsenal, the Youth 18. Why don't give some of those guys some experience? We already had one of them, which is the forward that scored a lot of goals in that game. To have him play, I think he scored a goal in the Conference League too. Mumbai, Mbema, I think it's his name.
Mbema, sure, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I wouldn't mind
your match, Mark, with the pronunciation.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Go.
We'll get some 1950s eyewear for him, and he'll fit right in with me. We need to see a little bit of the small town lift in the hat, but don't break the bell. This is just what my hats do.
I have the same hat, but it's gray though. So
right, I love the gray. I'm actually been quite jealous of it. For those of you out there that want any of the On the Stoop with Lolo paraphernalia, including that gray hat that we had mentioned, available in both red and Leeds colors, you can log on to onthestoopwithlolo.com and shop to your heart's content. Mother's Day's coming up. you can buy your mom a pain in the Arsenal sticker. So
hey,
all
not?
Right. So
not?
So you and I had talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
About the chances of West Ham possibly being relegated, what it would take, what it might come down to. You were doing well for a while, and now you're on a bit of you're hitting those juggernaut of teams, and I believe you've lost your last 3.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you feeling?
3, yes.
Are you feeling strong?
Not feeling great. Not feeling great. I think I still think we're gonna stay up. I really do. But it's just like me and my other friend I've been talking to with my other show. It's just gonna be tight. It's gonna come to that last game, I feel like. And
that's this is match day, that you and I talked about.
Right. This is match day 36. So they got until 38. So they got like 3 or 4 more games left. So, I mean, the last game of the season is Leicester City.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Leeds, which is second to last. And then we have Brentford and Manchester United this weekend. So, then we got we don't face against Wolves. I thought we faced against Wolves, but you guys are facing against Manchester United next week. So
Wolves get Villa, United, Everton, and Arsenal to finish out. So I'm still gonna stick. I'm still gonna stick to 36. Gets you. It keeps you up. Just because. There's just too many teams with much harder schedules.
Yeah, agreed.
So where do you get the points? Do you get the points against Leeds? Do you get them against Leicester away?
I think it's gonna come with Leeds and Leicester, and I think we have to tie one of these guys, like Brentford and Manchester United. But we have to capitalize on Leeds and Leicester's. I think we can do it, but it's just going to be hard. It's just going to be hard. It's going to be hard. These next 2 matches, I literally thought if we just beat Crystal Palace, that was like, okay, I would feel more comfortable because Man City in the game before, which is Liverpool, which came down to like the second half, I thought I would feel much better. But right now, we gotta win these last 2 games, and these next 2 games is just going to be even more interesting. Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do because Moyes is always changing things up. So tactically, I could tell you that I would like 4 in the back, 2 in front of him, 3 before that, and then 1. But lately, he's been doing a 4-3-3. So
for a second there, I thought you were just going to pause and say, I would like to say, a 4-4-2, but Mark, you don't know what that is, so I'm not even going to bother to waste my breath. No, I think it, man, what I see is a West Ham team that is A, not consistent, and B is getting a little injured and getting this illness is kind of ill-timed, no pun intended.
Agreed.
You're getting Man United at home, which you always play them pretty well there.
We do.
But United is angry that they dropped points against Brighton on a penalty in the very final second. I was ecstatic because Graham Potter or De Zerbi or whoever's managing Brighton, I'm always going to like that organization.
Me too.
I think they're a very class group. And given the adversity to have Graham Potter leave, to have to lose Cucurella, to have Trossard force his way out,
right,
and they're still competing for a spot somewhere. We don't know where it is, but they are definitely competing. I for one, like I said, I agree. I think they stay up. I do think it may come down to the last match of the season, and that could be very rough for a team like Leeds.
Do you think Leeds and Leicester will stay up, or do you think they're going to go down?
I think I did a little bit of a kind of a figure in and. Okay. It's unfortunate.
Did you do your crapper video?
I always do. Gotcha. A crapper.
Yeah, I love those videos. I love those videos.
I gotta stay regular. But it keeps coming back around to that. It is that I had said a few weeks ago, and I said this in the video that'll be on it at the our bio break. Is that a few weeks ago I said that the chance for Leeds was going to be in that schedule where they played Bournemouth. I think they played Fulham. I'm not sure who else they played, but that was 9 available points. They got 1.
Right.
They got 1 point, and now their next 2 are Man City, who's fighting to win it all, and Newcastle, who is a team that is working very, very, very hard to hold on to their onto that spot in the top 4. I think they fail. I think they falter because I think that the schedule is just a little too much. John, do you have a Newcastle schedule we can look at?
I just can't.
It's in there somewhere.
I just can't believe.
Here's Newcastle. Now they get Arsenal minus Saliba, and who I honestly believe that Gabriel will also be out for this one. I could be wrong. It's just a feeling I have, and if that's the case, Kiwior and Holding are not going to be able to keep out Newcastle. Newcastle gets Leeds at Leeds. This would be a very, very tough match. Brighton seems like a team of destiny, and then they get a couple of loose cannons down at the bottom. Leicester fighting their way, and then Chelsea, which Chelsea is so bad right now. That match against Arsenal, they look like they couldn't beat anybody right now.
No, they can't. I mean, it's what did they lost their last 4 in a row and tied 1, so that's 5.
Yeah. I think they've only won once since Lampard has gone on, and I think they drew once as well.
Right. Last 5 games they've lost and they tied.
Yeah, they just don't look like they're capable of beating anyone. But with Newcastle, this is kind of things could go the wrong way for these guys. I mean, these are all winnable games, or in as far as like a team as good as Newcastle, but they could easily be all losable games.
I agree. Newcastle is either really good at moments or they flop, and and Brighton seems like they're just on a roll. But Newcastle, they have won their last 3 games, so you just got to catch Newcastle at the right time. You got to catch Brighton at the right time. But overall, is Lolo not on tonight because his team's in second place?
Well, I don't think we have anybody.
You noticed
from
that
Arsenal.
too, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Gary
John.
all of a sudden had to, clean his refrigerator or something. I don't know.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's Gary. Gary had to do that, and then all of the other Arsenal nobody.
Lolo's out celebrating Cinco de Mayo with a long siesta.
That makes sense too.
And so has Arsenal. A long siesta for Arsenal.
Yeah, they are indeed.
Oh, here we go. Lolo's in the comment.
He's in the of course he is. He's watching closely. He's got interest in today and in the rest of the league for sure. But
oh man,
I don't know. It's there's so many interesting angles going on throughout. Like seriously. Like I mean the relegation battle is like 5 deep. And if you use that mythical 40 points as being that Mendoza line,
right?
There's still 9 teams that haven't reached 40 points.
That's true.
Wolves being one of them. Now, I put my Mendoza line was at 36, and I still think that holds just based on what I've been seeing.
I still think these 3 teams, Forest, Everton, and Southampton, are going to go down. I really do think so. I really don't think Leeds are going to go down. I just have this gut feeling. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I've got, man, it's tough. It's tough to really figure out where Leeds is going to end up, where Leicester's going to end up. Everton, are they going to pull it out? I mean, they haven't been relegated in 50 plus years, or 70 plus years. Are they going to find a way? Is Sean Dyche going to do it? But it's really tough. But I can't really speak Leeds without bringing in one of our longtime panelists, all the way from England. Our world's #1 wrestling fan. Here he is, the one, the only, Mr. Tom.
Greetings. Hello, everyone.
How are you, sir?
Testing.
Hello, my friend.
Right.
You sound.
How's my
fantastic.
really good friend Tom?
Hello, everyone.
He's a personal friend of mine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It just cut, John. It just cut.
Tom, you're the best. Who you got there in your cup?
Well, it's the Fiend, of course. It's not Halloween yet, but hey, everyone. Are we all ready to smack some Man City? Smack some Man City. That's not the same.
Are you ready to smack some Man City?
Do you feel confident, Tom?
I'll lie. I'm gonna lie. I'll say yeah. I'm gonna lie to YouTube. Yeah, massively confident. Now, I can tell you what was said in training with the new man. I'll tell you the training. He's basically gonna have huddled them up together and said, "Lads, Man City can't score if the ball is in row Z for 90 minutes." So just
why is it that that I imagine Allardyce saying this, but he's got like this massive sandwich that he's eating at the same time. He looks like he's a guy that's just like, and not because of his size, but just because of he kind of has that look about him that he's just always eating something. You know, it's like Brad Pitt in his films. Brad Pitt's always eating something.
I mean, he's been our gaffer for 2 days, so I'm not going to pretend like I'm a lifelong expert on Mr. Allardyce. However, when he was caught by a tabloid newspaper doing the things that meant that he would no longer be the England manager, he was sat there with a pint of wine. So,
well, do you like this move or no?
No, no. The way people can have their opinion on it. What I will say is, I think it's sad. It's genuinely sad that in 15 months we've gone from Bielsa ball, which was arguably the best football on the planet, not the most successful, but the best to watch.
Yes.
Because it either went really well or really badly, but it was the best to watch for everyone, apart from if you experienced it, like constant heart attacks happening everywhere. But we've gone from that to Allardyce. It's basically like going from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, which is categorically a failure on the part of everyone at the club. That's not Allardyce's fault.
Yeah, but the thing is that he's going to bear the brunt if the team doesn't stay up.
I know. To be fair,
it's kind of like last man locked the door.
Nah, because the reality is, with the fixtures we've got left, this is literally a roll of the dice. Where if we don't get 6 twice, we're probably getting relegated. So,
right.
I mean, also because I think exactly what Rhiannon said is true. He's either going to get a massive payday or he's going to get paid £500,000 to manage 4 football matches. That realistically,
if he wins, it's millions, and if he wins, it's millions, and if he loses, it's a train ticket.
He's not expected to win any of these. We hope he does, but
of course,
right?
Not naive.
My question is why now? Why not 7-8 weeks ago?
Well, shit, I could say the same thing about my manager, so I get that.
I'm going to guess that Mr. Outta was the one that was still pushing for, I want a certain type of football, but essentially saying, I'm not going from Bielsa ball to Allardyce. But the problem was, you then brought in loads of players for one manager. So I said this on Gary's show, the trip. It was vicious. I was not the calmest Leeds fan on the trip on Monday night, must admit. To put it another way, I think Victor Outta should actually be investigated for fraud. The reason I think that is because you've bought a striker or forward for 35 million in a relegation battle. He's not for scoring goals. He's never set foot in the Premier League. Not that that's the biggest thing, but ultimately, you've then broke our transfer record on a player that then didn't play. So we can't even sit here and go, Jorginho Rutter's a flop. Because how can you flop if you have one start and you come on sub in games that you're losing 4-0 in? Because he's not the reason we've gone on to lose 4-0 or whatever. It should be investigated. Because people have got paid in that transfer and we ain't got goals or points out of it. It's ridiculous. It's fraudulent. I'm sorry, and people are going to say this is like hyperbole or nonsense or whatever, and it's perfectly fine. But I think it's fraudulent.
Yeah, I would have a problem with
that. Transfers don't work all the time. Fine, he's a winger. But the reality is, then why not buy a forward? Why not go out and buy someone who you think can actually get you 10 goals in 18 games? Because that's enough in a relegation battle. That's enough.
Yeah, and I can sympathize with that because my team bought a youngin with their money that they got for Diego Jota, and he scored all of 1 goal and has spent the last year on loan. We spent like 45. We spent Morgan Gibbs White money on him. Tom, this is where you chime in and go, "Who the fuck is he?" But he's done fuck all for us, and I think it's far too easy to like, to I don't know. It's money poorly spent. And I can sympathize with any of you Rooter fans out there.
I don't know if anyone is a Rooter fan because you'd have to play for you to.
No one has a chance.
Right.
Hey, welcome to the show from not so sunny South Carolina. He's finally cracking that beer.
Cheers, cheers.
He's here. He is here.
Welcome.
And I'm sitting in my rocking chair. Yeah, man. How's everybody doing? I heard y'all talking some smack. Sorry to burst in here. I don't have a function to wait backstage. It just pops me on. But Mr. Tom, continue. I was listening to your talk about Victor Orta being
fraudulent.
He should be investigated. Yeah. He should be investigated. I don't understand. I don't know how you can justify that transfer. And then the worst part is you made all them transfers and then you sacked the fucking manager you bought the players for at the fucking latest opportunity where you couldn't fucking do anything to you bring in another manager, but then you might as well make that change at the start of January. So then Gracia can buy players that suit his fucking system. It's ridiculous. It's inept. It's at best it's incompetent for them. It's incompetence at best.
Yeah, if there's ever been a time to use the word shambolic to discuss or to describe the state of affairs for Leeds right now, I would say that 3 managers in a season, and firing one of them so close to the end, and couldn't even Orta's dismissal, couldn't that have even waited rather than making it a distraction? Because it seems to me that it's just kind of a distraction. It's just an annoyance, like a mosquito in the tent or something.
It feels like we then try and cover for poor decisions by then making another poor decision and then hoping that you forget about the last one. But instead you just list them all. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. I'm actually fucked off with them. Pardon my language, all right?
No, not at all.
This club, right? And you're going to sit there and go, oh, you're just upset that your team are losing. Oh, I'll tell you this. I accept losing when you try, okay? When in the early days of this show, we would come on here and it'd be, oh, you just got spanked 6-2 by Manchester United. However, we knew that during that spanking at Manchester United, it could have been 6-6 because Bielsa still was like, all right, man, how else are we going to get out of this? Man United keep scoring. Mm-hmm. Well, we have to try and
absolutely.
Score. So we did. And it didn't fucking work, but they fucking tried it. Pardon my language again. Then you sit there and you're like, you stomach losses because the effort's there. And deep down at Leeds United, we haven't got the quality to be competing with the top 6. But you sit there and at least you fucking tried to beat them. I don't think we tried to beat Bournemouth. This is the problem. We're now struggling against the teams that Bielsa was just whooping their ass routinely, which was why we finished 9th. Because it was like, okay, we didn't have the best record against the big 6, but anytime it was like, oh, we're playing a team that just got promoted, we beat them. Anytime, and you're not actually going to beat all these teams all the time. So obviously it was clearly an outlier that we finished 9th based on everything that fucking followed it. Pardon my language again.
Yeah.
No, Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom, you were absolutely spot on with all of this, and I think you should rightfully be outraged because me and Mark and Director John and anybody who follows us on this show, I can tell you, I remember that Manchester United match.
I don't follow you guys on the show.
You follow Leeds United. That's the difference. But I remember that Manchester United match, and I remember afterwards we were praising Leeds United. You just got beat 6-2, and we were laughing and being like, "Oh my God, Leeds United!" And I can even tell you right now, what was that, like two years ago? And I can tell you, it was like the last play of the
2020.
game. Leeds United sent up 6 or 7 players flying up the pitch. And it's like, why the hell would you do that? You're not going to win the game. You're not going to do that. But exactly what you're saying, Mr. Tom, is you could walk away from a beating being proud to be a Leeds United fan. And I think you are absolutely right to be outraged and ashamed and say something is utterly wrong with my club right now. And you have every right to say it, and you're completely right. So,
yeah.
That's my piece on that, Tom.
All right, so I'm going to throw it out there. Italy Jet and myself, we've already chimed into the begging question of whether or not Leeds will be relegated. I think it's going to be close, and I do think it's going to come. It could very well come down to goal differential with Leicester. Italy Jet, he says that Leeds will find a way to somehow stay up. Mr. Tom, I'm going to ask you: Is Leeds United going to stay up by the skin of their teeth for yet another season?
I want to be wrong, but it don't look good. I mean, what am I don't know how I'm meant to justify that we will, because teams below us are playing each other at points. So you can't even really sit there and just go, I hope that no one picks up any points behind us, because it's impossible. They will.
Right.
I think what Rhiannon said it there. I think what saddens me most about it is we've spent 4 or 5 years in this project, and we're going to basically end up back where we started with just a slightly bit more money in the kitty.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, you're still back in the championship.
Yeah, it just, I mean, your first season up, you guys are reminiscing about matches that you remember. I remember the very first Leeds match that I ever watched, which was Liverpool, and you guys went toe to toe, and you slugged it out with them. You didn't get the result, but you laid the table for the manner of play that the world was going to expect from Leeds United, and the legend built on. And even last season, I'd mentioned that you guys barely stayed up by the skin of your teeth, but the reason why you guys stayed up was with that never say die attitude that you just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. How many points last season did Leeds United get from losing positions? I want to say quite a few.
Not even just losing positions. Most of our points were secured through 90-plus minute goals.
Exactly.
Which again presents a problem, because that's an anomaly in itself. All right. So you have to start getting goals before the 90th minute, because eventually they're going to dry up. And
right.
I don't know. It's so painful to experience, because our clubs usually, I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn for other Leeds fans, but it usually feels like we always manage to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, and it's just what we're used to. Like we have an impressive silverware cabinet in the scheme of English football, but it's not one. It's not one that Tottenham's jealous of, for example. Let's say, and
fair enough.
You know what people think of their trophy cabinet. Like, you need to get a duster out. But this is right. Like, loads of comments coming up. They're right. It's just, even the ones that are wrong, they're right, probably. I don't know. But this, something's fundamentally got to change, right? And it's because we're failing at every area of the club in a the board decisions are wrong. The on the pitch, it ain't going right. The thing with Jesse Marsh, right? And
I think
people
Lolo
can
just got
disagree with
mugged.
this. Yeah, it looks like that was the case. What people obviously didn't like Jesse Marsh because he wasn't Bielsa, and I didn't hate him, but at the same time, I didn't think Bielsa should have been sacked in the first place. Like, I was willing to die on that sword.
Right.
I've had this debate with like Rhiannon and other Leeds fans where like I basically felt even if we were going to go down, it was like, well, we've kicked him out unceremoniously, and now we're basically going to end up where we were afraid we were going to end up, and we upset an old man that we all love, and I don't know, I find that quite sad, really.
Yeah, it seems like it was.
I understand why they sacked him. I do understand why they sacked him. I just didn't like it.
Yeah. All right, Lolo. What
got sacked. There's no stream when Jesse Marsh got sacked. There's no stream when Graffier got sacked. When Bielsa got sacked, we all come on here like the fucking funeral.
Yeah.
All
right, Lolo. What do you think of the odds? Leeds getting relegated or no?
It's tough because every time I think Leeds are going to pull something out and come through, they don't. And every time I write Leicester City off as done and dusted, they come up with a result. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it's going to be at the end of the season. It's going to be like, oh my God, all 5 of these teams really want to get relegated. Like, it's not going to be a battle of getting out of relegation. It's going to be like teams diving in, trying, where you're like, how are you losing these games? And at least Leeds United has a bit tougher of a schedule. Am I wrong about that?
Leeds United has a very tough schedule.
It would be very impressive for there to be a harder schedule than this.
Because we face against them the second to last game of the season.
Yeah, and that might matter, depending on West Ham's results. But here's the thing. Here's what infuriates me with Leeds United is Big Sam comes in relatively quickly. That, like, it did happen relatively quickly of like, okay, this is it. It's over. Boom, Big Sam's in. If Big Sam was even on the table, he needed to come in before Gracia. Like, if you're going to get rid of Jesse Marsh, and if Big Sam is even a thought, you need to give him more than 4 matches. Are you out of your mind? What do you want him to do in 4 matches?
I get the impression that Radrizzani wanted to push the Big Sam button a long time ago, but Outta was the footballing brain in the boardroom. He's basically the only football brain in the boardroom that basically would then go, no, I still believe Leeds need to play a certain way, when ultimately Leeds need to play in a way that gets points on the board. So, I don't know.
But here's where I think there's a little bit of hope, because Leicester City got rid of Brendan Rodgers and they brought in Dean Smith. So if you look at the 2 managers, Leicester brought in a championship manager, and Leeds brought in a arguably championship manager, but more of a emergency manager. So to me,
he's a firefighter.
Yeah, he's a firefighter. So to me, Leicester City are prepping themselves to yo-yo back up next season, and they're like, you know what, it's fine. As to where I think you might be surprised where you get these points from, but I reckon there will be at least 3 points pulled out of those 4 matches, and that might be enough. And I think the 3 to 4 points could possibly come from Man City. Yes, that's the Arsenal brain telling me, but it's also the new manager bounce. It's weird stuff. Man City's just played a match. They're still Man City, but you saw them. They weren't mind blowing.
He ain't bouncing anywhere.
Yeah,
He's just hitting the floor and just flopping like a. Anyway.
And to me, there's a lot of talent on Leeds United. It just hasn't been deployed correctly. So we saw Jesse Marsh's version with those guys. We saw Gracia's version with those guys. And now let's see a better footballing brain than Klopp and Arteta and Pep and all of them, as he says. But I would say you will get points from Tottenham. When you were bad, you forced them to score 4 goals. And that was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That was an amazing, fun match to watch. I can see you guys getting points off of Spurs last match of the season because they might be done and dusted at that point as well with nothing to play for.
Can I ask the comment section a question about Leeds, if you don't mind? Ask Leeds people
hold on. Let me just finish real quick. I think you guys could possibly get a point off of City, but Arsenal are going to beat the shit out of Newcastle. So Newcastle's going to come to Ellen Road like a wounded dog and be scared, and you guys can go right back out and hit them after getting your hard-fought point at City, and something could happen there. So it's not all doom and gloom. Here we go. Leeds United. Boom.
I love Lolo's optimism. I do think that
optimism.
I think that if there are any points to be had, it's in the last game of the season, and I'm afraid that it's just going to be too little, too late. I don't see Leeds beating City. Not right now. Not with everything that we've seen, and the fact that Leeds gives up a shit ton of goals. Newcastle, maybe because it's at Ellen Road, and that's always something that you have to consider. But Newcastle's they're on a tear. I honestly don't think Arsenal, especially if Gabriel doesn't play, I don't think Arsenal wins that match.
He's fine.
So you say. So you say.
Says. His name is
West Ham. West Ham's going to be a battle, but if it was flipped, I would be more inclined to give some points to Leeds. So that leads the last match of the season.
Can I just ask a quick question?
But remember, West Ham could totally be safe by then.
Tom, you go ahead with that question.
Right. Just quickly. Right. Seeing as Leeds United of 2023 are record breakers, breaking the record that was set by the Leeds United of 2022 for goals conceded in a month. Who would win out of last year's Leeds team and this year's Leeds team?
Versus whom?
Each other.
Whatever lineup. I don't care. Who would win out of the class of 2022 and the class of 2023? And that's
playing
not really
each
a
other.
thing we do here. It's more of an America thing. Who? Yeah, if they played each other, because I reckon last year's team with Rafinha, Phillips, for example, would murder this team. They'd murder them.
Well, they had heart as well.
Without Tyler Adams, this team has no backbone, and its spine is brittle.
Oh, okay.
And that's something that I would ask. I mean, are we talking a completely healthy squad on both sides? A completely healthy squad on both sides. I think this year's team beats last year's team.
And who's your manager? Is it Bielsa versus Marsh? Is it Bielsa versus Gracia? Is it Marsh versus Big Sam?
You know, I would probably say it's I'm putting Marsh on the sidelines because I felt that Gracia was downright awful and damaging to Leeds United. I think he was a complete and utter detriment that I think he makes Marsh look good.
Sorry, who made Marsh look good? Sorry, I zoned out for a second.
Gracia.
Oh, interesting.
Because I'm sorry, I am so sorry, but how the fuck do you not start Nyonto? How do you not start that guy? He's very good for you.
I can defend him to an extent because I actually think it's quite dangerous that we've all pinned our hopes on a teenager.
Watching boys again.
So many teams have
Watching
done
teenage
that.
boys again. Pinning all your hopes on a teenage boy.
I mean, it's not the first or last time people do that, though.
No, but I mean to the extent that it's like, oh, if he don't play, we're definitely going to lose, sort of thing. It's like, no, we've built a team that should be able to win without him.
I think that you have a better chance of winning with him in the lineup than you do with him out of the lineup.
Not disputing it. I'm just saying to the extent.
What's that?
What?
There was something in the background that sounded like it was like a little squeaky voice going,
It's his bird. He's going like, y'all full of shit.
He's going to crap on Lolo's head.
There's no
that'd be good luck.
The reality is that Gracia did a good job until, right, hear me out, he did a good to amazing job until the moment Junior Firpo fouled outside the box. Crystal Palace hit it into the arms of the goalkeeper. The ball came out. It came back again. Mark Rocker made a foul in the same place, and Crystal Palace only needed a second opportunity to learn from getting the first one wrong, and they scored from it. And then from that moment on, whatever happened between that goal and us coming out for the second half, I don't know what happened. Make it up in your own minds. Something happened in that 15, 16 minutes that has basically stayed with the squad until now.
I will tell you where your season went wrong. I'll tell you where your season went wrong. When it finally went through in the winter transfer window and you got Weston McKennie. When you got Weston McKennie, that's when everything changed because he came in with enthusiasm to play with Tyler Adams and to play under Jesse Marsh and to play with Brendan Aronson. And he immediately, he was like, okay, we're going to slow roll you in here. And Marsh was sacked the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Weston McKennie's attitude
I agree.
Switched from excited, happy, I can't wait to do something amazing. These guys have been telling me all about this. I'm here. This is now a shit show. We don't have a manager. Tyler Adams is now injured. I'm going to be the one who's responsible for this. And he has a bad attitude to begin with. It's why he didn't play as much as he should have at Juventus.
Yeah.
It's why he gets pushed all over the place. It's why Garrett Northgate over in the U.S. has a hard time with him as well, is because he can go from such a clutch attitude to a cancer of an attitude. And I think Weston McKennie is a big part of the attitude problem that Leeds United have. And that is your major problem.
I agree.
It's an attitude problem. So Gracia can do whatever he
was sold
wants.
on two things. He was sold on two things that have gone against him. He was sold on, you're going to be working with this coach, and then they sacked him. And he was sold on, you're going to get to play football with your best mate, and his mate got injured. And so both of them things, he now has the look of a man who is literally being held against his will and being forced to put on our shirt.
And that was the danger of signing Weston McKennie, is when Weston McKennie is happy, he is amazing. He can be absolutely amazing. He can be a game changer.
Yep.
But he's fucking mental. He puts ranch dressing on pizza in Italy.
I'd like to ask a question about Weston McKennie.
I swear I thought you said pineapple for a second. I was about to lose my shit.
He plays like he's above the people he's playing with, but he doesn't play better than the people he's playing with.
Exactly.
It's like, you have no right to have the attitude you have.
And as soon
Right.
as Jesse
I'd like to
Marsh
ask
got
a quick
sacked, he
question
was
about
like,
this.
I'm the best player here. I'm
Has
the
it
best player here.
seemed that since McKinney
Oh
or
my
since
God! All these
since
people saying I'm right. Sorry, Mark. Sorry.
since
It doesn't happen
Marsh
much. Doesn't happen
since
much.
Marsh got, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Since
headphones
Marsh
went dead. So since Marsh got let go, since he got sacked, and we've watched the change in attitude by McKinney. Is it my imagination, or is that guy putting on weight?
That's what I think too.
I think
he
he's
came
getting
in- he
fat
came
and
in unfit.
slow.
No, he came in
I
fat
think
and
he's
slow.
even more
He
unfit.
came in.
He came in.
That Forest game, it was like, who the fuck are you? You're
And I
not
think
the
that's
guy
why
that I've
Marsh
seen at the World
didn't
Cup.
start him straight away.
Right.
Marsh didn't start
The
him that first
conditioning.
game.
The
Yeah.
conditioning was not there right away.
I have a question for Lolo. I don't know if you noticed, but like a boat just drove by you on the street,
Yeah.
and like a big bale of hay went the other way. Like,
Yeah.
where the hell are you?
I am in Charleston, South Carolina, and weird shit happens here all the time. Let's just say my uncle picked me up from the airport, and he said, we left the Hummer at home because it's not a big enough car. And I'm like,
The hell?
holy shit.
Are you near where the Charleston Battery play?
Yes. Yes, we are. People have
I
been
know
talking
them
to
from
me about
Football Manager.
it. So, yeah. Anyway, weird stuff is going on. I will be out on a boat tomorrow, though.
Hey, good on you, and
Yeah.
welcome,
Hey,
Chris, all the way from Dirty
Chris.
Jersey. I was
What's up,
debating on
guys?
when to bring you on. Yeah, I was just like, do I bring him on now? Do I bring him on after in the crapper?
He knows about Weston McKinney. He knows about Weston McKinney.
He's about in the same shape as I am, so we're round. You know,
What's going on with your audio, Chris?
Chris coming in
Chris
live
is
from
calling
it bad?
1972.
From prison.
I was trying to do a Bluetooth headphones because I thought that might be easier.
Right.
It's very AM radio.
It sounds
let
like.
me,
Did you put the knife in the cake? Did you
All
put
right,
the
You're
I'm
about
knife
to
in the
start
cake?
telling us about the first Monday night football game in
Yeah.
1970.
You're
No, Chris.
speaking.
With any
It's the Jets
Bluetooth
versus the
headphones,
Browns, by the way.
they just all sound
Hey,
like
watch
crap.
it.
I haven't found one with a good microphone.
You're speaking. What's Cellmate
But,
61? This is
But Chris,
being
I do
recorded.
have some categories for you in trivia if we get there.
We're doing
So,
trivia again.
we have them just in case, but
You
Mark
never
was like,
know.
we got plenty to talk about.
Whew.
I just wanted to do
never
a big
know.
Oh,
Sam.
what
Sorry,
the
this
heck?
lady's dress. Can you move?
It's actually the boat that he's on right now. He's a little off
Oh,
course
Why
as
does
the
someone
winds
keep
are picking
flying
up
by?
from underneath.
It's my
The winds are
neighbor's.
picking up from the Erling Holland.
It's my neighbor's moo and she's on her porch over there. I don't know how it just keeps.
That's a big
floating
moo.
Yeah, yes, it is.
That's
Yeah,
so
you,
funny.
You look good, Queen. Sorry.
All right, so we are getting close to that 1 o'clock halftime hour. I know, Chris, you just joined us. His microphone is turned off, so I don't even know if he can chime in or not.
Oh,
but
because he turned off his headphones.
we'll we're gonna head on into this little bit of a bio break, and when we get back, we'll be talking a little more Leeds. We'll be talking the possibility of Liverpool maybe cracking Europe or even the top four, which I actually think is a possibility.
And don't forget.
In the
betting
meantime,
dark.
it looks like we're going to lose Italy Jet.
Yes.
He
You guys
is
have a
going
great
to be-
one.
He's going to be taking off, but don't forget to catch his show. Italy When is that show?
Actually, we're on a little hiatus right now where there's a lot of things going on, but you can catch me on Jet shows. You can catch me on one-on-one interviews on the NR Hour. And it's going to be great. Big week. And thanks for having me. I'll see you guys on Friday.
Yeah, who do you
All
guys
right,
play
man.
this
Thank
week?
you.
We play Manchester United this Sunday.
Oh, Chris, there you go. You need West Ham to do some business. And Leeds, you guys want West Ham to do well so that they're on the beach when they play you guys in 2 weeks.
Okay, let them go. Run, Italy Jet, run.
I'm trying. Damn. All right. You guys have a great one. See you later.
All right, be good, Italy. Thanks for joining us. All right, so we're gonna head into this bio break with a little bit of in the crapper, where yours truly will talk the relegation battle. We'll see y'all back in about 5 minutes. On everyone, Spawny Mark here, and I'm back in the crapper. I'm here to talk about the remaining 4 games in the season and how they're going to play out in this badass relegation battle. It just seemed to me like it was just a few weeks ago when we had 9-10 teams all kind of vying for the dreaded drop, but we've seen the shaft and the wheat separate, the chaff, the chafe. I don't even know what it's called, but it's starting to separate. And now we're down to about 5 teams who could be in trouble. Of course, Southampton, of course, Everton, Nottingham Forest. Got to throw Leicester and Leeds in there, and even quite possibly West Ham, although I think West Ham is in better shape. They're one of the teams that quite haven't reached that 40 point, that mythical 40 point, you're safe. I said it was 36, so if we go with 36, Wolves, Chelsea, Bournemouth, all safe. West Ham, not quite there. But, like I said, things are starting to separate out. Southampton at the bottom of the table. This team is just destined for relegation. They have had maybe 4 points in their last 12 games. It doesn't look good, but if they're going to make a move, it's got to be this weekend. They do play Nottingham Forest. The bad news is it's on the road, where Forest has practically been a fortress in their arena. At number 19, Everton, a team that has not seen relegation for 70 years. That's 490 in dog years, I guess. I have no idea. They've been good enough to nick a point here and there, but is it gonna be enough? Even if they drew out for the rest of the season, which is not impossible, I still don't see Everton getting from safety. They play Brighton, coming off of a fantastic stoppage time penalty win over Man United, and then after that they get City, who is just proving to be an unstoppable force. We're gonna have to see, but at 19 we've got Everton. 18, Forest, we talked about them. They get Southampton. They get them at home. These are points that could be easily grabbed. And then the following week, Forest plays Chelsea, who I don't even think is capable of beating anybody. So we could see Forest making a big jump if they beat Southampton, if they beat Chelsea, and then they get Arsenal at home. Who knows what might happen? And so that's bad news for those that are tied with Nottingham Forest. Leeds and Leicester. Leeds, I told you a few weeks ago that you had to make the most of the easy part of your schedule, and you got 1 point out of 9. You've since fired yet another manager, and you fired your director of operations, Outta, I guess his name is. I don't pay attention to those minute details. But Leeds, you might be fucked, because you got Man City next, and then you follow that with Newcastle. There are not a lot of points left for you on the table. You finish it with Tottenham, I think, at home, but then also West Ham in there, who is fighting for a spot, and I think they're just a little bit better than you. And that leaves Leicester also, but Leeds and Leicester. Leicester, you're up on your on goal differential. You get Fulham next. I don't know. I think the team that's in trouble here might be Leeds. But we'll find out, because like I said, we got 4 to play. It's been an interesting season. It will continue to be an interesting season. This is all that's left in the season. Right there. 5 teams fighting over what's left. It stinks to be that team. This guy has no idea what he's doing. He has no idea what he's talking about. Now everyone is. Hey, there he is.
I don't know. I think you're pretty solid there.
I think you're pretty solid.
I think I left a solid.
Yeah.
So I actually had mentioned something in that little video about Nottingham Forest could be a team that might just be kind of spoiling the apple cart for a couple of teams, because I think there's a fair amount of points in their schedule. You know, they get Southampton at home. Like I said, Chelsea, they're not capable of beating anybody right now. Chelsea is just awful. Sorry, Najee, if you're watching. They are at home for Arsenal, which I don't know which Nottingham Forest team shows up. The team that beat Brighton, the team that went toe to toe with Liverpool, or is this the team that got
a
1
point from
point
City?
and yeah, they got a point from City. I mean, or the team that's just like, we don't know what we're doing. Crystal Palace, who knows? But I see that there's a potential of, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 points here.
I call it 7. 7 easy. Not easy, but 7.
I think win, draw, loss, draw.
Yeah. Okay. 5. 5 sounds good.
But
Still, I mean, that's at this stage in the game, that's a lot of points.
That's enough to stay up. I don't see Leeds
Southampton has to
really
win
getting 5.
all 4 to stay up. So I think they've already probably capitulated. So I do think Forest wins this, and that's when the pressure really turns on to Leeds.
Yeah.
But if Southampton can win one for pride, that would be the biggest gift to Leeds.
How many points does Southampton have?
24. I think they need to get. I think 34 is the lowest is the number that could potentially stay up, but you would need 34 in goal differential. I think 35, 36 is safer.
Yeah,
but
I had said a few weeks ago that I felt that 36 was that Mendoza line for me. But we'll see.
That wasn't just a golf cart of drunk chicks, by the way.
I don't think there's a lot of points for Southampton.
Lolo bingo.
I don't think there's a lot of points for Everton. But I do think there's a lot of points for Forest, and that could really monkey with the next 3 spots.
Oh, Mark, please don't call them Forest. I love it when you call them Nottingham with a hard ham. I thought
I said Nottingham.
Never once did you say Nottingham in that video. I just love how you double down on things when people tell you it's pronounced Nottingham, mate, and you're like, cool, Nottingham, you fucking bastard.
Y'all know I don't give a fuck. Y'all know what I mean.
That's why
the best part. You all know.
That's why when you say Forest, I'm like, no, you come on, say it.
Hey, that man's tongue is really lazy.
The idea that all these teams would have to win at least 3 out of 4 games. For
This is crazy.
I don't know if you know him. There's Rory Jennings who posts football content.
Yeah.
And he's basically doing that, like, Chelsea are in danger of going down. Because Chelsea's season's over and he has nothing to really post about, he's basically going fake panic for clips. So he's like, Chelsea are in danger of going. It's like, you're not.
Yeah, he went on the month-long, Arsenal are undefeatable. Arsenal are incredible. Arsenal, and Rory talks like this, and he whispers and he says, Arsenal cannot be stopped. And then Arsenal bottled the league. Chelsea could get relegated. And I'm like, dude, pick a lane.
Who's like the big really booming voice
announcer? Who's the big booming voice announcer for USA? I can't even begin to, but he's
Rick
all
Astley?
about like no, not Rick Astley, but it's
Arlo
like
White?
something
Or he's not on
Drury.
Peter Drury?
Peter Drury. Peter Drury just it cracked me up one game I'm watching when he's announcing Arsenal. I don't know who it is. And he's like, and Arsenal take the field. They are the team of destiny. What that destiny is, we don't know.
Yeah. Well played. Well played.
All right.
Yeah. So
All right. So I think what do you guys say? We jump into some betting in the dark, and then afterwards I'd like to get Chris's thoughts on the possibility of Liverpool sneaking into the top 4.
Anything they say, the opposite happens, and now I got to be
So
really
call it.
about this.
All right, let's roll with betting in the dark, if you will, Mr. Director.
We'll run and get a beer really quick.
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
Hello, welcome to your betting in the dark with Mr. Tom, the Gordon Lightfoot edition, whatever that means. John,
You
what's
don't
that
know
mean?
who
not
Gordon Lightfoot?
you're not you don't know Gordon Lightfoot?
He's
Is he the cousin of Gordon Heavyfoot?
yes.
Oh,
I've seen him work.
he's a damn Canadian treasure.
He just passed away.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to the Lightfoot family.
I always
There's no
like that
punchline.
last name.
Just, yeah. So, right, going for the nice simple, wet the palate, obviously. Important to know that I did actually predict last week's 4-3 against Spurs. Just think that should.
yeah, you had the
Shit,
wrong
really.
first and last, though, didn't you?
No, I didn't get the first
Shit.
score, but I got the second one. I had Harry Kane to score. It was so close. So close. So close to that big money. It's halfway as well on Monday to getting the 4-4 draw. Anyway. Right, so going Liverpool to win 2-1. Salah score first. Trent, who you've started deploying him in midfield, have you not?
Yeah, he's like a free. I don't know. He kind of pops up everywhere. He's like instead of like a free roaming 10, he's like a free roaming 6.
Yep, I don't know what any of that meant, but I'm pretty sure that means he's in midfield now, so it can actually happen.
He
I
does
don't
stuff
know.
that won't happen on a Sam Allardyce team.
Let's say he doesn't play the long ball then. Well, he's in midfield, so it'd be bypassed,
He
wouldn't
kind
it?
of does
It
play
goes
long
from
ball.
It
he
goes
does-
from defender to forward.
He does like dinking it over the defender though. So
Yeah, he goes cross field, though. Like,
yeah.
he does like
So-
60-yard.
Macronical, what did you get for 4-3 out of interest? Because it must have
We'll
been
wait.
what, $20, something like that. Just wondered.
Oh, I did good last week. I made like $100 off of $2 bets.
$2.54 bets.
Yep. $2.27
Crow,
to $1.27.
I will read your comment out loud. Has anyone ever won a bet like this?
Yes.
Yes.
Mark, has anyone ever won a bet like this?
Well, I'd like to say that everyone has been able to win
Make him full screen.
with betting in the dark. But every once in a while, you gotta finesse it a little bit.
Finesse,
You gotta
baby,
go.
finesse.
You gotta go with Tom. But every once in a while, you gotta kind of massage the numbers a little bit. And so to answer, was that Crow friend? The answer is yes. Yes, we do win. Go ahead, Mr. Tom.
Get that man a cigar
talking-
right now.
Yeah, we're talking big numbers from Mark Dice Clay over here.
The 100 air.
The 100 air. Woo!
Yeah. Oh, it made him Ric Flair it and everything. Wonderful, wonderful. So I do wish, like, every now and again, someone like that doesn't watch the channel as often just appears and goes, "Does people win on this?" Just so Mark can do his thing. Just get Mark.
Mark,
Boyd
tell us
really.
the
Handy.
numbers.
That's
Tell
why-
us the numbers, Mark.
the
You bet
number?
$1?
I'm 100 air.
If you would have bet
I
a
think,
buck 27, you would have been 1,000 there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Mark won
what I
like
was
$800 on a dollar bet.
Yeah, it's very true. So,
And if he
for
did
the-
127
for those
like
of
me, he
you
would
out
have won
there
1,000.
that don't think that that they think that these bets are trash, they are not. They actually, Tom knows what he's talking about. They
quite
the
easily could
idea-
happen.
The idea is there, and more times than not, he's right than wrong. That's what I'm trying to say.
We demand that Tom gives us crazy odds for things that do have potential to happen. And football games are football games, and anything can happen. And this is definitely a situation that could happen. Mo Salah to score first, Trent with an assist. There's 2 goals there for Liverpool. Ivan Toney to score. I think I'm going to take this bet, but I'm also going to put Ivan Toney as the goal scorer. Why not? He's probably going to be the one who scores the goal.
He's going to get a penalty.
Bump it up.
Yeah,
I reckon
and
that'll
if
bump
there's
it
a
up to
penalty,
about 200, 300.
yeah, that'll
maybe.
bump it way up. I'll do this one alone, and then I'll do that.
Yeah, basically, I picked a bet that paid out so highly that they stopped making the bet available. Because I can no longer pick the last goal scorer, which is what yielded major profits on that Arsenal Man United game.
Colonel
Eddie
Ward
coming on and getting the winner.
Colonel Ward, no, I would not recommend that. That being said, if it hits, you really should have.
Yeah.
Which Arsenal game was that?
Big Sam relegated us. Yeah.
No,
What?
that came in. We had Eddie Nketiah as the last goal, and I think 3 Arsenal players had a foot on that ball.
Yeah,
and I remember jumping on. I remember jumping on the chat, screaming internally, going, "Who is going to be awarded that goal?"
I think it was Manchester United. No.
Was it United?
Yeah, because it was
I
a
think you're right.
late winner.
I think you're right, and that was a match that went back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I said Bruno would score first.
Yeah.
Oh, because I thought they'd get
And
early
it-
penalty. But
right,
I
and it
remember
turned out to be Rashford, who I took.
Yeah. But I was like, if you're really not that confident on Man United getting a penalty specifically, obviously pick their striker to score it. But, whatever happened, Mark made some good money. I got to brag for about, it's currently 5 months. So, well worth it. And to answer Codshay's comment, he's right. Leeds were relegated with a defeat at Big Sam's Bolton in 2004.
Yes, he was.
So,
If he gets a draw against Man City, is the confidence gonna start kicking in?
I'll be too shocked to know what I think. I'll probably be too busy spending Saturday night picking my jaw up off the floor. Because
I think that result might mean more to Lolo than it will to Tom and other Leeds fans.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Because Arsenal fans are the only fans on earth that actually are under the delusion that the result could be anything other than Haaland gets 14 goals.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm just going to stick with when Man City beat Arsenal the first time this season, I told Mark they play Nottingham Forest at home next week and they will drop points, and they did. So that's all I'm saying. I thought possibly it would happen at Fulham, and Fulham gave them a tough match.
Tom, it could always be 14-14. So
I'd be really upset if that happened because
Junior Firpo with 3 hat tricks.
I usually go for the 7-7. So Still wouldn't be what I really wanted, would it? Now 14-14, I suppose I'd accept it.
John, what do we got
Bielsa
next?
improved. Yeah. Right. Okay. He Googled Desmond. Yes. Sorry. Right. Yeah. So in one of the big matches of the weekend, I believe the 4:30 slot, which, as I've always predicted, yields goals. And that's not my opinion. It factually yields goals, like it yielded 7 of them last Sunday.
We don't like this.
And
yeah, Arsenal Newcastle last time was 0-0, right?
yeah, but that was because
Yeah,
one
but you
of the
guys
teams
had
tried
Saliba
to
then.
play 0-0. They tried to make it 0-0.
We only bet on Arsenal wins. Is there a
Newcastle
UFO
got
there?
a 0-0 win.
I think that plane's about to land on me. I don't think I'm near the airport. Anyway. All right, fuck off, Tom.
No, you could do this the other way, have Jesus to score first and Isak to score, and you'd probably get a similar outcome. I don't know. The important thing is...
I don't like Jesus having to score.
Oh, but he
Who
has
will
been
score?
scoring lately.
Who would score if it wasn't him?
And the thing with Isak is you never know if they start him and bring on Wilson or start Wilson and bring on Isak. They don't
The
seem to
last
play
couple
them
of games, they've been starting
why.
them both.
Yeah,
Have they?
reverse
Okay.
it.
Yeah, the last couple of games. It's Miggy that's the odd man out.
No, that's not true.
Alderaan.
Callum Wilson came on for... Callum Wilson didn't start and had a brace in...
I
I
thought he
think it was
started.
his last match or the match before that. He didn't start. He came on and had a brace. They started... Who else is it that they
Who'd have
have?
thought Newcastle would have 3 guys with 10 goals, and Chelsea might not score again for the rest of the season.
I think they score. I just don't think they win.
Frank Lampard is the worst head coach in the history of the Premier League, right? Because he's only won 3 matches this season. He's won less matches than Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson's only been managing this season for a month.
I think his last 20 matches across all competitions, he has 1 win, 2 draws, and 17 losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of sad, but I don't know. Y'all hate Frank Lampard anyway. So
he's a great player.
But him being a player is irrelevant to whether he's a good manager, because it's quite clear that they're not intertwined, are they? I mean,
right.
Because of the amount of ex-players that are not actually flourishing, or the amount of elite players that are not flourishing. 100-1, amazing.
Wow, great.
I'm guessing you did add that for $1.
That's whatever he had it on for is good.
Yeah. Well, no, because he said he does all the picks individually. So I wouldn't risk more than that on things that I've come up with. Bloody hell. I'm playing to my guilt, bro. I mean, no. But yeah, this will be... I've got a feeling this is going to be the world famous Desmond. Don't know why. Just got a feeling. Keep in mind, Newcastle were never on the beach with that team, because the same reason they won at Burnley last season on the final day when they had no real reason to as a club is because the players are always playing for their position. Because they can buy anyone they want, every player is always replaceable if their form's not good.
Yeah.
So they can't afford to switch off or sit on the beach or anything like that.
Oh, by the way,
like other teams.
Can we all appreciate Eddie Howe's response to somebody asked him about links for a summer transfer of the likes of Neymar and Ronaldo, and he said something to the effect of,
"Why the fuck would I want them?"
He's like, yeah, we need players who are playing for the team. If anybody can look that up, they should look it up right now. It was a brilliant response that he had. Something of like, no, we're going to talk in realistic terms. Not even realistic. The gist of it was he was saying like, no, we're looking for players who will help our club. Something like that. Great comment. I don't remember what he said. I just remember it was great. And for more great insight, follow me on Twitter, where I give.
I like.
Is that what he said, Fabrizio?
Lolo just said.
Yeah.
What Lolo just said was
said?
basically, Hal said something that I like, but I don't remember any of it apart from that it was about Neymar.
Shit. And Ronaldo.
It might have been about Neymar's sister. I don't know.
It was Neymar and Ronaldo.
Neymar could still be a great player somewhere. He had a great first half of the season. I wouldn't take him at Liverpool, but someone's gonna pick him up.
Maybe Wolves. We could use a quasi finisher. Director John, do we have one more bet for Mr. Tom?
We do.
He's just always hurt.
Big money bet of the week, right? I believe this is Monday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going with Brighton 3-1. Solly March to score first. Tarkowski to get it on the end of a free kick or corner. Bang, money.
Mr. Tom with the big balls. Oh, you had me until the Tarkowski.
Well, who else is going to score for Everton?
Calvert-Lewin?
They're your boy. Diceball, weren't they? It's your boy. He's going to send his centre back up to corners, isn't he?
I just want to have a drink with them, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
man.
your boy.
He's
going
he
against
needs
your boy's
to,
boy.
He needs to mix things up. He needs to like do the next manager a favor and just bring in just bring in all the young guys.
Yeah, that's fine and all, but
do Wolves get Connor Cody back after this?
No, we sell him. We sell him.
If Everton goes down,
if they go down, I ain't buying.
Who is? Look, I love Connor Cody as much as anybody who loves Connor Cody. He was my favorite Wolf, but so like he gets put out on loan. The manager that puts him out on loan is gone. Who? So and he's sitting on the bench in Everton. He's not being productive. Does he come back to the Wolves and sit on our bench and not be productive? Or on the field, who does he replace? Max Kilman?
Maybe it'll be
Craig Dawson?
You play with the back three. He plays now.
But who? But who? You know, I mean, a back. I don't want to go back to a back three. That's boring. You know, and I don't want him I don't want him taking Dawson's starting spot. I don't want him to take Kilman's starting spot.
You wouldn't take Kilman.
Maybe.
I mean, Kilman's good.
Okay, so
that boy good.
No, I think Kilman's an automatic, especially because he's younger. Dawson's a bit older, right?
Lopetegui might turn into the Iron Cheek.
Dawson has been ridiculous. For Wolves. Italy Jet, if you're still watching, thank you. I know I shat on it when it happened, but man, Dawson's been so key for us.
I said at the time he had Premier League experience. It was exactly the type of transfer that Leeds should have been making.
Everton goes down. Tarkowski is I think is a good pickup for someone as well.
Be somebody good on the bench for Arsenal.
I think that he's a better backup than Holding.
He's definitely a better backup than Holding. The question is whether or not he'll be a backup.
He's a backup at fucking Everton right now.
Yeah, but
he's not. He's a starter.
Three teams are gonna go up, so some of these players may also be targets of whoever has that new.
Oh, for sure.
He could be back at Burnley.
Right. All right. Did
fellas,
we have one more, or did we get
No.
through that? We did get through
that
the
was-
final bet.
That was it,
Yeah, that
fellas.
was
I'm
three.
gonna
All
have
right.
to. I'm gonna have to call it. I've lost all the light, and the mosquitoes are like flying out now. So I'm glad I could join you guys.
It
for a
is
little bit.
it is
Mark,
Cinco
thank
de
you for taking
Mayo,
over.
and those mosquitoes do want to party with a Mexican.
Yeah, man. I need. Yeah, we'll make it happen. All right. Thank
All
you
right.
guys
Thanks
so
for
much.
joining us, man. We'll see you next week.
All right. Hope you guys enjoy the trivia if you get to it. All right. Good night, fellas.
All right. Good night, Lolo.
Shit.
All right. So if we are indeed finished with betting in the dark, I'm gonna ask our resident Liverpool fan. They are what? They're in 6th place right now?
Fifth.
5th place. Is Champions League in the cards for Liverpool?
So I mean, we'd have to win out.
Yep.
And then United would have to drop at least 8 points? Or
They would have to drop some points, but United has the easiest schedule.
71, and then United would basically only be able to get 8 out of 15. I mean, it's going to be very, very. I mean, like, forget about our schedule. Like, in theory, we could win that all. To me, it's more about where does United drop points if we can look at their remaining matches.
I don't think. I
They'll
think.
draw-
I
don't
think
see them
United.
dropping enough points on that. In that,
they'll
I
draw
see
West
United
Ham.
is the team that wins out, and I think the team that you catch, and y'all gonna call me crazy for this, but I think that if Liverpool can take care of business on a schedule that is fairly easy by Liverpool standards, because Klopp has got it figured out. He's heading down that home stretch like we've seen season after season.
the thing is, I don't think we
and-
can catch
and
Newcastle because of
he-
goal differential.
You can. I did the math. Goal differential wouldn't play into it. I mean, if you guys win out, you guys could.
Man United
I
gonna
actually.
win
This
most
is
of
what
their
I
games.
think. This is what I think for the remaining top 5 teams, top 6 teams. City wins the league. Arsenal finishes 2nd. Man United finishes 3rd. Liverpool is 4th. And
see
Newcastle is 5th.
Oh no,
That's
Newcastle
my
only-
prediction for the top 5.
Newcastle only needs 7 points to guarantee.
nah.
John,
Liverpool won't
can we
catch.
throw up?
Liverpool won't
Can we, Director John? Can we throw up Newcastle here?
Let's Brighton.
Let's
can
see.
still-
Let's
Brighton
see
can
where
still
those
win out.
7 points are. Arsenal, Leeds, Brighton, Leicester, Chelsea. Are there 7 points there?
Leeds, Leicester, Chelsea should be wins.
Leeds at home will be tough.
They should.
Arsenal will
I
be
don't-
tough.
I don't want them
Brighton,
to, but if they
although they've been Newcastle's been very good at what is it, St. James? Brighton
and
could
Brighton
easily
Brighton is
steal
still
something.
in it, but Brighton has the hardest schedule, I think, of anybody.
Absolutely. I think they have 6 matches, I believe, and 4 of them are against
Newcastle
top,
should
top
get
17.
15 points there. They should get 15.
Newcastle,
Everyone
They should get
should
15
win all the points.
Brighton, and Arsenal are going to be tough, and you never know. Chelsea at some point is going
They've
to.
got home advantage in 3 of them. They're against a team with the worst defence in England, definitely in Premier League, and then they're against a team that are managed by the most inept manager I've ever seen.
I think Newcastle will at least get 7. All they need is 7 to stay ahead of Liverpool's charge. I think they get 7, at least. I think
those are gonna be hard.
Brighton.
I think that's a hard 7, and I think at best,
Well, they could draw Arsenal 2-2, right? That's what Tom said.
Yeah, we could see a repeat of that. We can see a repeat of the
think it
reverse
will be
fixture.
2-2, but it could just as easily be 15 points. That's all I'm saying.
Can we look at Brighton's matches too, Mary John?
Go on and get 15 points. I'm just saying.
So they've got two matches that are pretty easy, and then 4 matches that I think are very hard.
I've got this feeling
Brighton
that
gets at
Brighton
least
are going to
6
phone
here.
it in. They're going to phone it in against Everton, and Everton are going to win it, and I'm going to be furious.
No.
I don't think they.
No, that Everton team is tired.
I know I've
Dyche
just
has
picked Brighton
just
to
been
win
running
3-1
them into the ground.
because that's what logically should happen.
And Tom, if City wins the Champions League, it doesn't matter because they're already in the top 4, right? That doesn't just add a 5th spot, right?
Nah, it don't work like that anymore, I believe.
If they finished 5th, it would have added a 5th spot.
Yeah, the only way you get the extra spot is if you win the Champions League and then don't qualify for the Champions League through the league. My understanding. But there was a year it happened, and then they just went Tottenham, who finished 4th, didn't qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah, I remember that. That was when Chelsea.
That was the thing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was it. Maybe they just did that because it was Tottenham.
They're like, let's change the rules this one time.
Yeah. But no, I think I think Liverpool can catch Manchester United. I don't think they will, purely because from what I saw of the fixtures, I think Man United haven't got a game against a serious opponent.
We're giving up too many goals. Like the idea that we go undefeated over those 4 games, I think is very.
With respect to Mark,
the two difficult teams at least were at home, and then the 2 easier teams to beat were away. So it's very. We're on a 5 or 6 game win streak, and we've had seasons where we've won the last 10 games of a season before. So it's not. I think even if we win all 4.
They scored 10 goals in 2. They scored 10 goals in a week, and we conceded 23 in a month.
Yeah. I mean, I see 2 clean sheets here. I mean, for certain. I mean, Leicester struggles to score. Southampton struggles to score.
I mean, Villa and Brentford. The only gift is that we're the home team. Those are tough teams to.
Those are very, very tough. But I think in the same on the other side of the coin, you guys are playing pretty damn well right now.
I also,
and Brentford is cooled off, and Villa.
With all the
going to come down to whether or not your team is better than Villa's team, and I think that is. I don't think you're going to be. I don't think Liverpool's going to be outcoached as good as Unai is.
With all the forwards healthy, you can tell that they're all trying to impress because they want more time. Like they've all looked good, either whether they're starting or off the bench. Like we'll score. I still think because of our midfield, we'll give up some goals, but I mean, deep down, I think we should win these 4 games. But
I still don't think it'd be enough, even if you did.
Yeah, I kind of.
That's my thing. It's not
Liverpool is 4th.
It's like
I think if United or
Man United, please.
If United or Newcastle lose early in this, and Liverpool wins, it creates some pressure, and then you see if there's capitulation. But I think we revisit this on May 15th, and then we'll place our bets then.
Like, if you could put up Man United, please. I'd like to go through why I'm basically Man United's games are all against teams that they're safe. Like with respect to Wolves, you're on the beach because you got the points that you needed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
ultimately, you're now just flittering about to the end of the season. Same as Bournemouth, West Ham. Yeah, they can be dragged into it, but realistically, the win at Fulham probably.
Yeah.
There's
There's enough time. There's enough time for West Ham to recover. But I look at the schedule. I look at the schedule by United, and I could see it. I could see a run out. You know, West Ham away will be tough. At home at Wolves, man, I'd love to see the Wolves win. I could see a draw, but with everything that's on the line, Man United win that. Bournemouth will be tricky, but I think United is just a little bit better. Again, Chelsea, I don't see beating everyone. Fulham, at this point, they'll have
12-1, Scooby. 12, 1-2-1. Sorry.
We look at
Mitrovic will be back, so maybe I don't know, but this seems like a pretty easy schedule for United.
Can we see West Ham's schedule? I just want to see. Like, I think they're on the beach already, but maybe it's tough. I mean,
these are not easy matches,
huh?
These are not easy matches. I think it comes down for West Ham. I think safety might come down to the 28th of May against Leicester.
Yeah, but I'd rather be sat on 34 points looking down at 3 teams on 30 than be one of the ones on 30 looking up at a team with a 4-point gap.
Yes, Pink Cushion. It is West Ham United. We know this. I'm lazy, and it's so much easier to say 2 syllables than 4 syllables.
And that's all know who we're talking about.
Exactly. Unless it's Sheffield. You can't say Sheffield.
Yeah, what is there a club that's just West Ham that's not West Ham United?
West Ham is a place.
It's also a state of mind.
It's like the town over.
Okay, West Ham is a place, but is there another football club that has West Ham in the name?
Not that I'm aware of.
Then we can call them West Ham.
Yeah, plus we're Americans. We do what we want. Otherwise, we'll shoot you.
Like you guys say, you don't always say Leeds United. You say Leeds. Your chant is Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
Yeah, but
Ian, not Leeds United, Leeds United, Leeds United.
Ian makes a point of correcting. Yeah, but he gets upset when people just say Leeds as well.
Thank you, Chris.
What?
Plus, it's easier to type it in there, because then the United will be on the next line and it'll look stupid. So, I mean, Ian, Pink Cushion, if you want to do these graphics, go right ahead.
Yeah, I even think
Yes, I do.
Yeah, there it is. Just West Ham. It's like Westworld.
I was furious that I cancelled Westworld. Furious.
Oh, did they?
Ian,
I watched the first season. It was okay.
I really lost its way. Like it got mental, but at the same time, it was like I've watched 4 seasons of this, and it's like it doesn't feel like you've properly ended it.
Right.
I hate it. It's my pet hate on TV shows. It's like if you're gonna cancel the show, make a final episode. End the fucking thing properly.
Yeah, but that doesn't always work out. I mean,
it works out.
We Americans have fucked up season finales for seasons and years and series. I mean, I never watched it, but Saint Elsewhere, like the season finale or the series finale was that it was a snow globe. It was someone's imagination.
Whether it's good or shit, I can respect that there's a finale. Like there's a conscious effort to end the fucking thing.
What if you don't?
Did The Sopranos end it? Because that would just made no sense.
I never watched it. I've not seen it.
Oh, really?
Is it good? I've heard
I watched a lot of videos that like explain how The Sopranos actually ended with like really niche clues from like there's just tons of theories out there that you can go down a YouTube wormhole if you want to.
And I have at 3:00 in the morning, at least once a month, have just like either the YouTube hole or the Wikipedia, where you're like, what does that mean? What is that about? And next thing you know, you're reading about some 16th century emperor in like, Mongolia.
Like, how did I started I started with Leeds United on Wikipedia, and this I don't know.
I ended up on Lolo's greatest bloopers.
I watched that show, The Wonder Years.
Two of my favorite shows of all time were canceled early and don't settle very nicely, and it's kind of every time I rewatch them, I'm a bit aggravated.
You're
Deadwood
probably wondering.
And Carnival.
I feel Deadwood resolved itself.
It did. I mean, there was a movie as well, like 2 or 3 years ago, that was pretty good. They did. Like
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I couldn't get past the fact that they were all like significantly older.
I couldn't believe what Ian McShane looks like now.
Show's not ending proper. Show's just been cancelled out of nowhere. Pet hate. Yeah. So I hate giving my time to something. This is why I tend to watch shows after they've had their run, so I can find out if it got cancelled mid-run. And I won't watch it.
Cocksucking bastards. The amount of F-bombs in that show is it's incredible.
It's easily one of my favorite. It would be top 5 TV for me. Would be Deadwood. I would throw in The Wire.
The Wire is the best TV show ever made.
Breaking Bad. I'm
Deadwood
watching. Go ahead.
Deadwood is the one show that's in American English that I watch with subtitles. Because the fucking dialogue is just rapid fire. It's just I think the first time I watched the entire series, I was like, I think I got about 7% of what's going on.
Yeah.
Let me go back to that.
Yeah, and like there's certain subtleties to the humor that you have to look beyond the rapid fire dialogue. Like when the bartender saloon or like right hand man or who he hoped to be right hand man of Sweargen, when he sees the guy come in and he goes up into the room with all the prostitutes and he's like, like.
You know, when I watched the British Office for the first time. This is before the American Office was out.
Mm-hmm.
Came in like a DVD package with like a glossary of like British pop cultural references that like you could read through, because if you were an American, you wouldn't know like the references to like what was on nighttime television or. You know, I do pretty good with like what popular music is, but not like popular music. And it made the show that much funnier just to have that point of reference.
I love the British version of The Office. The first time I ever saw it, though, I thought it was one of the worst things I'd ever watched because I didn't know it was a documentary. Well, I didn't know it was a fake documentary. So I'm watching it going, why does Martin Freeman keep looking at the camera every time something happens? And only like after, they actually got a mention in the final episode. It's Leeds doing well then. Yeah. Because Chris
Finch, your forklift driver.
United. Yeah.
I watched. I tried watching The Office.
To fire him, though. He was useless. He was terrible.
But I couldn't get into it.
You couldn't get into what?
British Office? Into the UK Office. Kevin is interested in what that USA TV series set in Vegas gambling, and the cast may or may not been blown up, and they never resolved it. I there are so many
Vegas.
TV shows that take place in Vegas. I think that
I'm gonna go with Mr.
it
Tom.
It
has
was Las Vegas with James Caan.
I love
believe.
Jimmy Caan in anything. He's probably one of my favorite gangster style actors. Although he
I'm
did
guessing
play a
that's what
very
Kevin
good
means.
safe cracker in The Thief.
What is it? Is it USA or TNT? It's like there was like a catchphrase that they had that was it's like TNT knows drama.
Yeah, something like that.
Or,
James
or maybe
Caan
it's
knows
USA
the
knows
underworld. Yeah, I don't know.
Why would he put the
All right.
stapler in the jelly to stop people from bothering it?
drama. Mark's not gonna know the reference.
I do. I mean, they use that one in the U.S. office.
Yeah,
he does that.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think my favorite, if I, because I couldn't get into the UK office, but I definitely did watch the US office.
I love both of them.
The one episode or the one prank that I think was the best was when it is when Jim replaces himself with the Asian friend.
Yes, that's
who's
what
like
I was
an
about to
actor.
say.
And he's like, yeah, we hired him. He's an actor friend of
Is it
ours, and he's
something
going to do
Park?
this.
Of course it's Park.
Yeah, where it was like the prank just kept on, and when, especially when the family photo.
They made the family photo. Yeah,
They made the family photo. It is my favorite prank. My second
Randall
favorite
Park.
prank was the one when Jim dresses up as Dwight.
I love that.
And he's like, yeah, for $17, it's the best prank I could do,
But at the end, Dwight dresses up as Jim, like in after the credits. It's fucking.
Actually, my
Hey,
favorite
Sam,
one.
you want to come over to my house and have some sexual relations?
Do you remember when Stanley makes Jim think that he only laughs at jokes involving meatballs? So Jim, to make a new friend with Stanley, keeps bringing meatballs in to prank Dwight with meatballs. But then what actually is happening is that then Stanley and Dwight are just taking the meatballs and sharing them between each other.
Right.
And they're laughing
Yeah,
at Jim.
yeah.
But Jim's doing it thinking like he's impressing Stanley. And then you see them like huddled outside of work, like sharing the load of meatballs.
They're like, "What's the take?" Yeah, there's a lot of nuances and a lot of jokes in that show.
I love it. It's like a meme everywhere, like where.
Yeah.
Like
was that one of the first
his
shows?
Favorite New York pizza place is Sbarro's.
Was it one?
Was
of
it
the first
Sbarro's or was
American
it
shows that
Chili's?
Didn't have the laugh track.
I think it was Sbarro's. He's like, forget about it.
Tom, I believe you're correct, because it does take on that premise of it being a documentary. I also love the way that, like, the way we talked about the way series ends very poorly, whether it be Deadwood or Sopranos or
That had a
Dexter.
great finale, to be fair to it.
But The Office, like, it did really well because it circled back to the ending, because there was like this little like shenanigans that Jim does before him and Pam are together, and it that whole thing. Hey, remember that thing I gave you? Here, let me. Now I'm going to give it to her. Sort of thing. But but was it the teapot? I don't remember.
There's a letter inside the teapot. But I think
there you go. That's what I remember. Is the letter.
But I think he took it out because then something like Pam and Roy appeared or something. So then he decided it was best to not give it to. But then he did. It was something like that. It's a long time ago.
Right.
But definitely involving a teapot. Though.
Exactly. Apparently, we've lost Mo Master. He hasn't been joining us as of late. So, Mo Master, if you're watching, you haven't been commenting
Real
for a
Madrid
while.
Second. He's got nothing to brag about.
Third.
Yeah.
They're third.
Well,
I
not only
think
that, but
I think Atleti passed.
not only that, but
someone needs to check Leeds alive then.
I think
I'm gonna look
City
it up.
is going to end up beating Real anyway. But
Yeah.
that's a whole different conversation for a whole different time. We got
Yeah,
about
that'd
5 minutes left. John, if you want to throw up the link for the after hours, I am not going to be able to partake in the after hours, and I don't know if Chris or Tom are gonna hang out for a little bit.
I'm around for a bit.
All right, but
Did you know,
anyone with any final thoughts on the weekend coming up? What's the most bizarre prediction that you can throw out there?
Big Sam masterclass, obviously.
Big Sam masterclass over City.
I think what would have to be true for that to happen is like, I think it'd be one of those games where Leeds goes up early, and then Man City like attacks like all game, and it's kind of just fucking like warfare. They get one back, and then somehow Leeds scores like with like a long ball.
Like how we beat them before.
Huh?
That's you're describing how we beat them in 2021. That's literally what happened. We scored first, then they laid siege on us, they equalised, but then they continued to lay siege on us, and then we got one shot and we scored it.
That's what I want.
That's how we won. Yep.
That's how it happens.
Yep. Something that may or may not interest people. Gary will not be around tomorrow for the road trip. However, he has, for some reason, entrusted me with his YouTube channel.
That's fantastic. What time? What time is that, Mr. Tom?
In the UK, it will be about 4 o'clock, which I believe makes it. What does that say? No, it's the road trip on Saturday.
That would be 11 a.m. on Saturday. Yeah. That would be tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Yeah,
there's gonna be like 40 new videos up on that channel tomorrow, all about wrestling.
Oh
no, I'm doing that. I'm doing Gary's channel, but then I will be doing my own watch along tomorrow night at midnight 45, 12:45.
Oh, I thought you guys just like switched spots. Gary was going to take your spot on the Fool Nelson.
He should. That's a good idea. Because my plan was actually just to pretend to be Gary during the show, and then hope that no one noticed that I'm not Gary, because we are remarkably similar.
I thought you were Gary this whole time.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Gary thought he was Mr. Tom this whole time.
Sorry, I misled you. But yeah, so that should be fun.
No worries. I have no prediction, except I'm gonna go with. Let's make the bottom three interesting by having Southampton, Everton, and Leicester all get points. That would really kind of upset the apple cart, so to speak.
You're really
for the final 3 weeks.
Right now.
No, I'm not, but it certainly would make it interesting.
You're right. I heard that, and I thought I didn't think that made anything.
I didn't say they were all going to win.
I think that was designed to make me cry, wasn't it? Really?
No, I didn't. But I didn't say all three win. I said all three getting points, which makes it a little more interesting and a little less dire than them all winning.
Well, if Everton gets a draw and Leeds gets hammered, Leeds will drop into the bottom three.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that can go.
I don't like Everton. We want Everton in the championship. That's
if Leeds go down, I want to take them with us.
All fair enough.
Going down will be a disaster, but it will be more palatable taking them with us. because
Right.
they truly deserved, as an institution, they truly deserve to go down.
Right.
I'm
well,
not saying
you know,
we
we'll
don't, because we've been bad, but they've wasted like 16 years of Premier League money in our absence, and they're in the
fair
same
enough.
spot we are.
Big
All
Sam.
right, well-
Big Sam. Big Sam. Big Sam.
Eating that sandwich. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun. And y'all can join us next week when we will have our fearless leader back from North Carolina, provided he doesn't stay
Survives
there.
the mosquitoes.
I have no idea. Survives the whatever he's doing there. I think he's there for a wedding. But next week, hopefully, we'll have Lolo back, and we'll also have Ben, hopefully, who is absent, taking care of the of a good friend. Hopefully, we'll have Ben next week with the potato report. But after that, it'll be a very, very interesting weekend. May all your teams win, except for Aston Villa, who play my Wolves, and we'll hope for the best there. Otherwise, thank you, everyone, in the comments. Thank you on my panel, Mr. Tom and Chris from Dirty Jersey. Mr. Director, I
thank you for having me on.
respectfully ask for you to play me out.